I am just super distraught. I can't even believe it. So this morning I got up and I let Stella out and she started barking and the other people's dogs came out at the same time and they're all barking. So I looked out and there was a truck just sitting there at the end of my driveway. So I'm standing on the porch watching. And then I see it start to pull away and a dog starts chasing right alongside of it. And then it starts to catch up, like try and get in front of it. So it stops again. And then it starts going again, and the dog starts doing it again. And I've never, our neighborhood is like a little isolated neighborhood. I've never seen that truck before. I've never seen that dog before. And so, I don't think a dog would just be chasing this random truck, not barking or anything, just chasing some truck. So, immediately when I saw it, I thought at first I thought, why are these people not putting their dog back in the car and taking it home? And then, I'm hearing like, oh, that truck's not from our neighborhood. It was a very distinct truck. Like, it was like an old powder blue pickup with a matching camper. So it was very distinct looking. And then so then they went and kept going and the dog started chasing him again. Stella, please stop. And then it didn't, they didn't pick it up again. They just kept driving and then plus leave around going the long ways. And then I heard him go out on the road. So I was like, oh my God, those people are dropping off their dog. They're just dumping their dog and their dog is scared and chasing them. And they just keep trying to leave. Oh my gosh. And then I just can't get this out of my head now. That dog keeps chasing a husky. It would go the whole way back to Bellingham following him. Even if it was way up ahead, a husky can run fast. And staying right next to the highway, it would be so dangerous. Oh my God, I'm just so disgusted by people. And yesterday, I left and I went into town. And I said that, I was going to town to go have lunch with my friend, and which a lot of places were closed on Monday, which she said, that's so weird. They're never closed on Mondays like this. And so we ended up going to this one place, and it was crowded because, everybody going out all the time. And it had, nobody was wearing, hardly anybody. There was a couple people. And then it's even weirder. Like, why? What are they so scared of? One person was standing there with their friends out to lunch and nobody had anything on it. And then she put it on so she could go up and hug them. It's like, where do people come up with the... I don't even understand how they create these germ rules or something. It's bizarre. And the whole thing, it's not how it works. The whole thing is just weird. But while we were driving, I just noticed while we were going, usually I'm driving, so I'm not able to look at all of the houses and stuff. And in this one, there was a lot of action. It was like somebody was in their driveway. So when I looked over, I saw that they had these two giant German Shepherds. And they were in this very small crate. It wasn't a dog run at all. It was like, I would say like a third of the size of a dog run and much lower. So you couldn't jump up, and it had a roof. So it looked like a large cage with these two giant German Shepherds out on their thing. And so as I was driving, I was looking, I was like, these people have a huge piece of property, no fenced area, no place for the dogs to play or anything. And they have their dogs just at the end, like on this cage, on this driveway. So I said to my friend, oh my God, those dogs are in a cage. And so she starts saying, yeah, they've been in there since I've been up here. I've seen them in there for 3 years for sure. And that even if you call the ASCP or whatever, the animal control, You know, they'll come out on me because my dog got over my gate for 1 second, but they won't do anything about these ones because as long as they're fed and have shelter, it's okay. That's okay. You can keep these dogs caged for their whole life in this little small container. It's outside. They got fresh air. You know, just because you don't want to be bothered with them. I mean, do they even go into this cage? How do they get into the cage? Because it's so low to clean up the poop. Are these dogs just in there and all they have is their own poop is their ground? Oh, it's like, oh my God. I was so disgusted by that. Like, what in the hell? How heartless do you have to be? Do you really see your dog as having no soul, no nothing, no sense of its own independence or anything? You don't see yourself as a slave owner, essentially. You've just taken over this other being's life, and you know, you've determined the parameters of how they may exist. So to me, I just feel like there's so much stuff that people have to wake up to because they have this cold, heartless kind of disposition to other, well, I mean, some people, even by the color of somebody's skin, you know, they think they're lower, but animals, and they just think of them as being lower. They don't think of them as being, you know, a conscious being having an experience. It's just, oh my God, just, this is, this is a hard place to be, no doubt about it. Very, very hard, because you have to watch so much, you know, it's not even just like I've said a million times, it's not the cabal that is doing that. The cabal didn't enslave these dogs. The cabal didn't come over here and drop this dog out. People are doing this. People are making choices for themselves in this, it's like an arena, this world. They are making decisions for themselves to wake up and understand connection and stuff. Like, some people have to do some like really heartless things to drive something home. You know, like I said before, like some of the stuff that people are creating that they have to wake up to is, oh man, I can't stand to see animals be abused, because I do know, I've had relationships with them. Like, you tune into them, they have distinct personalities. They have, you know, things that they want and care about. And poor Stella, you know, this morning she got up and she puked. And she goes over, she always wants to show me something. She'll just go over and look at it, smell it for a second, and look at me like, did you see this? And, you know, try to feed her, but she won't eat. I just keep thinking, it's got to be the pharmaceuticals that are making her sick. I got to somehow get her off of those. But her pain, I just got to get down more south. And, you know, my daughter wants me to see about selling this place and then using the money for this place to buy a place in Mexico and, you know, to start our Airbnb there, even though I know this is going to be a good one. And I was thinking, when I was out yesterday and we were talking about how much these houses, oh, and then plus 300 more houses in my neighborhood that's just greed. So much greed. That's not the cabal. That's a contractor. You know, that's a regular person who thinks, yeah, all these people moving out, trying to move out from town and going to live in the woods. Let's just jam pack them in. Just create our own little city so I can make a lot of money off of this property. So freaking selfish. Oh my God, people are so selfish. It just blows my mind. So, but this morning when I got up, because this is the second time I got up. The first time I got up, I did go back to bed eventually. But the first time I got up, I was watching, she is, I think her name's Lady Ducheva, but I don't think that this is her. I think that is a different person. Maybe they were sharing her video or something. But I've seen this girl before. She's does astrology, I think that she's Russian. She could be Polish, but she, she has a thick accent, and it's Eastern European. So, and she's got like a bright colored hair. She's pretty. She's always up close too, like I am. But I don't know, I can't think of her name, but if you want to find her, she just had posted this thing, and it was astrology, and so she was going over it. And so she was talking about the way the stars or the planets are lining up. Stella, will you please stop? Oh, hold on. I don't know if that dog is going to come back looking for somebody. I feel so bad for that dog. Oh, God. I feel so bad for her. It just reminds me of so many dogs that are just mistreated and abused. It's just so fucking sad. But anyways, so she was saying that she was really upset too. She was very concerned. Like, she looked like she'd been crying. Or maybe she looked like me, like she just woke up. But she definitely seemed stressed out about this, what she was saying. So she was saying that the planets are lining up a certain way. And it's all these different, like, warring planets. Like, something, I think, like Saturn, Jupiter, Pluto, or whatever, however they line up. Which, we've had other people say things about them lining up. So, you got to take it with a grain of salt, how big it will really be. Because it could be just big and affect certain groups of people, not everybody. I'm still looking for that great, big, dramatic event that's going to wake up everybody, So, and that's coming. So, anyway, she said that at the end of the month, the first week of April, she says really, really bad. She said, people should definitely figure out a place to stay safe, sheltered. It's going to be a super catastrophic time period, the way the planets are lining up, because there's no planets coming in to give us some other kind of balance. It's all like warring planets. No, what the hell? And so she said it's going to be super bad, but then on the 8th it's going to change, and everything's going to go the other direction. So I don't know. That keeps sounding like what I keep talking about. Something really big is going to happen. It's going to be super dramatic. It's going to affect tons of people. She said this is really huge, whatever it is. And it's going to affect tons of people. And it's going to seem like, we're all going to die. Like that Hawaii moment that I talk about, where it seems like all hope is lost, that we don't have it and nothing's going to save us. And then something will happen that will turn it the other direction. I don't know what she is like freaking out about. So anyways, she said that would be coming. And I keep thinking like we're on the edge of something. I think so many people feel it. So many people know something big is coming. And, we need people to wake up. I mean, people just are, I so many headlines of these tragedies. Like so much tragic shit is coming up. People have things and emotions and stuff coming up. They don't know how to deal with them. They're lost little children. They are, they could be in adult bodies, but for their conscious being, they're children. They do not have any idea of themselves. They're lost in this world, and it would be scary because they don't have any clue. The world is falling apart. And, just yesterday too, I said this to the person I was out to lunch with, because she's also super religious, like spends all day reading the Bible, listening to church programs all day. She's the same age as me. I don't know, maybe there's lots of people my age now who are just super religious and just, focused on their Bible and the Bible stories all day. I know my mom and her friends, but they're a bit older. So I don't know when it starts for the people who are Bible believers, but anyways, it's the same thing that blew my mind is when I was talking to my mom and my sister about my stepdad being sick and in the hospital, which he got out again. You know, he didn't die this time again. So, I don't get how people cannot see. When it's your time, you will go. That's it. You have a birth time and a death time. It's a contracted in between. There's no changing. Like it's set. Your expiration date is set when you start. So, yeah, I don't know. But anyways, he didn't die again. And, but when I was telling my friend at lunch, I said, you know, about this weird conversation I had with my sister where, you know, my stepdad's in the hospital dying. Well, he was my stepdad, he's not anymore. But he was in the hospital dying. And that, you know, his kids wanted to talk to him or whatever. And so my sister started saying she was. And when they were so upset, I was like, why would you be upset? Like, that's beautiful that he gets to transition out of that old broken body. I mean, Jesus Christ, he's been all crippled up and on oxygen for a long time. And then, you know, my mom was like, yeah, you're right. Like, yeah, like if you believe in a soul, like why would it bother you when somebody transitions out? And then, so I said, and then my sister, you know, she started saying, I was saying you can talk to him because he's going in and out of his body anyways. He's not just staying in his body right now. You can talk to him and, you know, he's a soul. He can hear you. And my sister thought I was completely insane. And, you know, she needs to go and whisper it in his dying eardrum. You know, if he's even in there, we got to make sure it's in his eardrum, how I feel. And so when I was telling this person too, she was looking at me like I was just speaking some other language. Like, and I said, I don't understand. It's like, does my sister think that your soul just comes out of the body, goes directly in an elevator going up or down, and that's it? That's your soul? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. She never answered. She never responded. She never said anything. She just kept staring at me. To me, I feel like I'm giving, you know, something, a seed, planting a seed. Like, think about it. Like, what are your rules on a soul? Like, it's bizarre. Like, you believe there's a soul, but you think there's all these rules and restrictions on a soul. What is a soul? You know, where's the soul? Where does it come from and stuff? You just believe this book. God, it seems like a lot of stuff going on out there. And so, you know, she didn't answer either. So, you know, every time if you ask a Christian something that is logical about a soul, it just, to me, they just seem like they got nothing to come back with. They just sit there and not answer. You know, their mind's probably churning like, oh, convince yourself. What are you saying? She's crazy. I don't know. One thing that she did say, because, you know, she's around a lot. Well, you couldn't be here where I'm at and not be around a lot of people who are severely brainwashed. We talked about that too. It's like, you know, it's because we are in a very liberal, progressive place. All of Washington State, California, and Oregon, I mean, when they were going to break off and become Cascadia in 2016, and I was all for it. Now I'm like, oh my God, they just want to get us isolated like that so they have total power and control. Now I know who's running the joint. It's freaking scary. And how many people are just so compliant to whatever because, you know, they are the Democrats, the ones that care about people. They care about progression and, you know, everybody else doesn't care about people to the depth that they do. So, you know, and when we were talking about that and the arrogance with these people, like they all think that they're so smart. Nobody could be tricking them. We're just all gullible. We're just all crazy because we believe whatever we're told. We go in and look for crazy stuff and then we believe it. That stuff's not real. That's not really happening. And so I was like, well, what do you think is going to happen when, all of a sudden they see the truth? Most people that I talk to think it's not going to happen. Nothing's going to happen. It's just going to be like this for a long time until those people die from these. And then, when we'll just wait our turn. I'm not really sure. Like I said, it's a lot of Debbie Downer, doomsday kind of stuff, how they see this all playing out. So I was saying, like, what do you think would happen then when these people get woke up? Like, when all of a sudden they see that the stuff that they've been saying and calling us names and saying all this stuff, that they were the ones who were wrong. They were the ones who were tricked. I mean, like in my case, the person who's crazy in the family was the one who was right. So how do all these other people feel when they all of a sudden see, because they see themselves as being super smart and, they're the ones paying attention. They're super intelligent and nobody could pull something over on them. They all carry a huge sense of arrogance, which is ego out of control, which all the stuff happening is so you can witness your own ego, so you can get it under control. And I said, what do you think is going to happen then with these people? I mean, I think they're going to freak out. I think there's going to be a lot of people going to kill themselves because you have to be so humbled to be able to face your foolish side. And egos out of control aren't very humble. They're quite the opposite. They are arrogant. And so anyways, those two things kind of went together to me, of this, what I keep talking about, this giant like hand of God moment that's going to come in, that's going to be super dramatic, that's going to like turn the lights on so everyone has to see themselves. It's like a giant mirror will be held before you, and you will have to see yourself. You're not going to be able to think that it's somebody else. And I know that's coming. I know it's coming. And so that matched with that lady was saying this morning, that it could be, we have the rest of this week and next week. So like a week and a half away that, it could start with this planetary alignment turning into such a dramatic kind of violent scenario, where this lady like was saying, you need to go to a safe place. You need to stay safe. And then plus with where I think she's at, because she was saying some stuff about Russia, and she was like, could be some really bad stuff here. So there could be, there's no telling. I just know whatever's going to come, it's going to be bad, and it's going to be scary, and it's going to seem like all hope is lost, and this is it. Humanity's about to die off. Mankind will no longer exist. That's how people are going to feel. And then something will switch it. It will be dramatic, and then it will go the other direction, where people will have to heal, because in that dramatic moment is when they will have to see themselves. And then that won't go away. They will continue to have to see themselves for who they are. If you're somebody who goes off and dumps a dog, in some strange rural area where it's chasing you down a highway and gets killed, that is something you're going to have to face in yourself. What kind of person would do that? You're going to have to feel that pain. That's why I said be very, very mindful of what you're putting out at this time, how you are approaching people, what kind of person you're being, because you're going to have to face yourself. It's going to be, nobody's going to be able to get away from it. Everyone will have to see themselves. That's how we move forward. That's how we heal, is to face ourselves so that we can heal. And what's blown my mind is how much of this arrogance and ego has come to the surface, even to the point where so much absurd stuff is happening and they still can't see that things aren't right, So it's gonna be dramatic. I can't see anything else happening. I've been showing me this for such a long time. And so I really do hope that it is that close, Because this dragging it out and dragging it out is horrible. But, when it happens and people have to see themselves, like I've said, like if you've done a lot of healing and you aren't having to see this horrible side of yourself that you need to heal, then, you are going to need to be there for others, because people are going, and it's going to be the people who have called you names and been mean to you and made fun of you. That is going to be the people who are now going to be down in the dumps and not understanding life. Life's going to be ripped out from under them, and they're going to be so confused. So, I don't see it being any different than that. I swear, I see that as being what is going to be happening. And, I don't know. To me, her dates seem to match the energy with everybody. And I know it's going to be something that would be shown up in the planetary system, because this is a cosmic thing. Everything that is happening is like a cosmic kind of, a cosmic events to move us into the age of Aquarius. So it has to change everything. Everything has to change, because the new age is not going to be like the old age. So everything has to come to the surface. We have to purge it out. Well, people are still not in their awareness. They're still trapped in their own mind in this world where compliance to tyranny is the best way forward. Then when they have to see what that really means, and so much stuff, I mean, I can't even believe the stuff that they keep talking about and where they wanted to take us. I mean, it was definitely Soylent Green. They've already started that. I even told my friend yesterday, I said, well, what do you think all the vegans are going to do when they find out they've been being fed human? Like, what do you think is going to happen? And she just like started laughing, and she goes, oh my God, I hadn't even thought about that. And I said, yeah, there's going to be some people who are going to be freaking out. And she goes, oh my God, they don't want to hurt an animal, and then they're going to find out what they've been eating. And it's not even that. It's like leftovers from Planned Parenthood and stuff. Like, I mean, the stuff that they've been feeding in our food is disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. And, but they put a lot of flavors in it. So people think it's good. Oh, this got great flavor. They don't have any idea what they've been eating. And, that right there is going to be a big one for people to face. So, anybody who thinks like this is just going to keep going like this until we all die, I don't see that at all. I see there being huge things that are going to just slap people awake. There will be no more being able to be hypnotized. There could be a few that are just so deep in denial that they won't admit to the truth, because it's going to be so painful. But it's going to be a time of mass suicide and of this continuing of people, killing their whole families. And I don't know. It's going to be a hard time, So, I agree with that woman. You've got to really remember who's important. You've got to protect yourself. And don't forget, we all have an expiration date. So if you're sitting there feeling like, oh my God, I'm going to die, don't stress. Don't be scared. Death is not real. You are not going to die. You're not going to end. It's going to be like a dream. You're going to go out of one reality into another reality. You just leave one reality and go into another reality. There is no dying and then you end. There's an end to your place in this reality. That is all that will happen. So don't be fearful of death. And the people, if there's people dying around you, they are still with you. You just can't see them, but they're still with you. Their energy is always going to be around you. You can call them in at any time and they would be there instantly. There is no gap. Well, I'll give them a little ring and maybe they'll show up next week. No, it's instantaneous. Start talking to them. You will feel them there immediately. So, but you also have to be open to that. If you're sitting there like, okay, I'm going to talk to them. oh, okay, I kind of feel them, but I think I'm crazy. I'm just crazy. I'm a crazy person, because that's how it's going to feel. You're doing something that is foreign to you, to open yourselves up to this other reality that is all around us, because they've been telling you for so long that it doesn't exist. But it does exist. It's our real reality. This is the dream. Where we are right now, this is the dream. This is the part where you get to go through experience, so you expand yourself. So that's what's going to be happening on a huge, grand level. And I don't know, it could happen next week. I mean, it could happen at any time. Everybody can feel that something big is coming. You would have to be in such denial to not understand something big is coming. Most people think it's just going to kill us all. I don't believe that. I believe it's going to be to wake people up, to give everybody the opportunity to heal, because everybody gets an opportunity to go into the new age, but you have to heal to get there. We can't, you just think about, like, if this was a quarantine and everybody's mentally, emotionally sick, you have to keep them confined. You can't let them go out into the general population, because they'll take their sickness with them in the way that they act and interact with others. So we would carry that sickness from this reality into the new age, and we can't do that. So everything I say may sound wacky, but just think about it logically. Think about a soul logically. Think about energy logically. Think about this place. What's going on, why people are different, why they're the same, what is about people's experiences. Just think about it. Just start thinking about things in a new way. Start doing more research. There's so many people now who are coming out telling about their near-death experiences, and it's not scary. Most people, when they pass, they beg to stay there. They don't want to come back. This place that we're at is a place of pain. There's a place of suffering. It's a beautiful place, but it's also a place where there's so much low energy that it creates so much pain and suffering. It's gonna, this place is gonna really shine when we get it into a place where it's a high vibration, when we're all feeling really good. Oh yeah, and I'll say this too before I go. She also said something about the sun. And she said, what's weird? The sun doesn't seem like, and she's British, so she was like, it's way different than in England, and she's going through this whole thing about the rain and the sun and all of this stuff, like she's telling me. She goes, and it's just so weird how the sun burns your eyes. Like, you can't even look at it. You can't even be driving with the sun up, because it's just burning your eyes. And I said, yes, that's not normal. That is something they're doing. I don't know if they're putting some giant lens over the sun, if they're directing the light. I don't know what they're doing, but they're doing something. And I told you, it burns your eyeballs. So if you have a weird thing going on with your sun and it's burning your eyeballs, it is something that I swear, it's like they put a big like dome light in front of it to direct it or something. It's like what I said before. It's like when the kids used to take those magnifying glasses and then hold the sun and make it go through there, and then they would burn the ants. When I was a little kid, I would see kids doing that. Like, they thought, oh, look, this is so cool. Like, just think about how our conscious state, like, we think, oh, that's cool, just sitting there popping ants all over the place. It's like, I don't know. There's so much weird stuff before you actually wake up, like to the point where you would go drop your dog off in a strange neighborhood instead of rehoming it or taking it to a shelter or something, giving it a chance to find a new family or something. I don't know. But anyways, there's definitely something off with the sun. People don't know what it is, but they know something's weird. Like, it literally burns your eyeballs. Like, if you if you're driving and it's even on the side like this, that light coming in, hitting into your eyes this way, you start seeing spots. Like it's doing something. And I don't know if, I mean, I told her yesterday, because where we are, because we're over right outside of Seattle, like if you did that big thing, that side of the state over here where it rains a lot. I said, with all the weather manipulation, because she's noticed that something is wrong. She's like, okay, this is weird. Like, it's just one weather thing after another. And they are not doing stuff to pay those people with the flood. She's talked to a bunch of people. People are having to abandon their homes. I knew that there would be stuff like that they would. And she said, but you talk to them and they just think, oh, well, they're not waking up to the tyranny and the control, and that the government and insurance and stuff isn't there for you. They just, they don't know what to do. But they're going to keep being hit with one thing after another. So, what was I going to say? So the sun thing, the weather. She was saying that there was weird stuff with the weather. And I said, they're controlling it. And, because she's like, I just can't believe how long it rains. Like it just rains and rains and rains and rains and rains. In England, she started telling me stuff again about the stuff there. And I said, you know what? This being a slave state and all, and, they're definitely contracted with Big Pharma. I bet you if you were to do some research to see how many people are on antidepressants, I bet you that our state alone probably keeps them in short supply just on its own. I bet you that there are so many people, because it's very liberal, very progressive, medicine's the greatest thing ever. And I bet you that I'll bet you so many of the people here are on some type of antidepressant, anti-anxiety, or something. And then the weather manipulation keep them so down. And I bet you there's so much suicide. Definitely there's so many people on antidepressants here. Like, and they do that stuff on purpose. Like they would come in and create weather patterns to promote that. Like I keep saying, we're all these different experiments all over the place. Once you start realizing that and you start noticing like what's going on, like right now in Florida, there's spring break, and I saw a little clip. There's so many people, like just jam-packed in the streets, and some sort of fighting and shooting, and so now they have to close it down and make a curfew during spring break, which that seems out of control to have that many people. But also that is where they do have a deep state or MK Ultra person go in and start violence to create a violent scenario so that they can come in and control and manage a situation. So when you start really realizing how much manipulation is going on in your life, presently in your world, it's just wake up and look around you. It's happening in everybody's lives. You don't have to pay attention what's going on in Taiwan, the Ukraine, in England, and Australia. You don't have to. Canada. You don't have to pay attention what is causing everybody else pain and suffering. We all have plenty of our own, and it's our own is what is there to help us grow. So like I keep saying, don't distract yourself with other people's pain. Focus on what you have to heal for yourself. But be clear that there is pain and suffering going all around us, but it's created. They're creating scenarios to, mostly to get us to take medicine and to kill us. I mean, that's what basically everything is. We're only worth something to them if we are giving them money. And so, anyways, all you got to do is just start paying attention to what's happening in the world. But I do think that there's something big that is about to occur. I've said it if you've been watching me for a long time, I've been saying this since the beginning. So, and You know, it was always going to. Something was always going to happen. But, you know, I do hope it is, you know, I do hope that she's right on this planetary alignment. She definitely seemed really upset. You can go in and watch it yourself. I swear it said Lady Ducheva. But I thought that name was a tarot reader. So, I don't know. I'm horrible with names and I'm horrible with faces. I'm horrible with it all. But it's stuff that doesn't matter. So, that's what I've come to realize. I'm not going to stress out about stuff that doesn't matter anymore. There's just so much stuff that doesn't matter that we just worry and worry and worry. You know, and everything that is happening right now is to help you grow and to help you purge out your pain so that you can release pain and suffering and you can expand your consciousness. But it's a process and it's not easy and it is work, you know, and that's what a lot of people are not used to. They're used to having to go out and, you know, dedicate hours to a small paycheck to come home and bitch and complain about. But to actually do the work on yourself, I mean, most people just want to take a pill. They don't want to do the work. So it's important to do the work. Then you will really see change in your life. So anyways, I'm just going on and on about this long enough probably. But, you know, just focus on you. And she's right. If things start happening, don't run out into the streets. You know, keep yourself safe. And there's no telling which place will be hit with which things. You know, there's no way I mean, I'm sure there's lots of psychics out there who are guessing or they're talking about their visions, but there's been so many that have had prolific visions that haven't, you know, and who knows? I mean, are some of these visions just so that they put the information out there? And, you know, it's us that stop the things from happening because of our own awareness, our own collective energy. That, you know, because what happened with La Palma? What happened with how many people had those prophetic dreams about New York being underwater? Is that still to come? I don't know. I don't know. But, you know, you can go around listening to psychic after psychic and try and see, you know, who, you know, to me it's just a big old guess. The only thing I feel so certain about is that it's going to be an opportunity for people who seem the most brainwashed to wake up. I just feel certain about that. And I don't know how it's going to happen or whatever, but I believe it's going to happen. And I believe it's going to happen soon. So we'll see. But, you know, stay safe and, you know, work on you. That's the project at hand for us all. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.